Y'all have to go to work early, stay at work late, then being swamped all day, and then the next day you have to go in early again. Yeah. Yeah. What's happening, my dude? Zental back in action, and it is Saturday night. I'm so tired. Not just that, but I gotta be in the work early tomorrow morning, so this is gonna be great. And it's really quick food tonight because I do not have the patience to do this today. Not because I don't want to show you guys, mainly because I want to go to bed because I have to be back up early tomorrow. Anyways, so we're going to do spaghetti bolognese. My version of it. You know, my random stuff. Goulash. Again, my stuff. Don't question it sometimes. They're basically the same recipe. The only difference is you take half it out, put it on the pasta, and the other half you throw the pasta in it. So I'll basically show you what it is, and then I'll show you the dishes at the end. And then tomato soup, the way my family makes it. Now, mind you, the tomato soup, I would start out with, if you have the time, I don't have the time, and I don't have the patience, I would start out with fresh tomatoes and blanch them. So basically, you would take fresh tomatoes, make a crosshatch on the top of it, blanch them so you can peel them, and then dice them down. But you'd add that to the mix when you blend everything. And yes, I need a blender for this blah stuff. Like my shirt, I like the color. I think I look pretty. Alright, so actually right now I've got the water boiling. I'm cooking the pastas while I'm doing this stuff. So it's like not all over the place. And before I go away, so I'm gonna make every Italian cry out there. And anybody that cooks pasta cry, but oh yeah, I cleaned that up now. Made both my pastas. Spaghetti and elbow. This is for the goulash, this is for the bolognese. They're going to get split up. I just needed a container to put them in for now, set them to the side. So for the spaghetti bolognese and the goulash, we're going to be using 8 ounces of pre-cut mushrooms. I just picked those up because they were on sale. We're going to be using 1 full onion. This is for the tomato soup. Stay there. You're going to need tomato paste. I actually would recommend getting it in the squeeze container that you can... That looks so wrong. I'd say you get it in the squeeze container so you can keep it in the fridge. This is the only one that they had at the time, and actually that's a lie. This is the one I had in my cupboard, so there's that. And then we're going to use a can of crushed tomatoes and a can of stewed tomatoes. The reason why is because I actually like tomatoes in my, actually pieces of tomato in my stuff. And then I really always think I have everything out, but I don't. And then we have my minced garlic. If you don't have minced, it's about 4 cloves, depending on how much you want. Ground beef, I get 80-20 because it's cheap. If I could get cheaper, I probably would. Then we're going to use salt. I had pepper around here somewhere. Pepper, Italian seasoning, and thyme. And it's fire time. Woo! I forgot to add, my tits are hanging out, but we're going to put veg in it. Why are we putting veg in it? Because I gotta put veg in pretty much everything because it bulks it up for very little. Woo! So like always, we're going to start out cutting our onions up. No big deal. That's the only thing I really have to dice up with this. So we go like, got diced onions. Oh God! And now I can't see. It happens every single time. Oh, my eyes. Okay, so we're going to take the onions, throw them in the pan. That's a tablespoon of olive oil. Bag of veg and dump it in there too. We'll let that get hot. Start letting those sweat. probably should dump this in too. Give that a little shake out, get some of the steam off. It's reduced down a little bit. It's perfectly fine. It's going in my side container. Don't overfill. So we're taking the whole pound package of ground beef. If you don't like beef, change out what you like. I just know beef was cheap. As you know, I'm a cheap bitch. I'm going to take our garlic. And we're going to take a tablespoon. Before it starts cooking, you're going to add your Italian seasoning. It's probably about a tablespoon of it. I just noticed I like more thyme in mine, so I added probably about a teaspoon of thyme. A couple hits of pepper. A couple grains of salt. You guys know wouldn't be one of my recipes without some chili powder. Why chili powder? Because I like it. Okay, while that's frying, we're going to take these veg, which is a small onion, about 2 stalks of celery, and about 3 even carrots. We're going to dice those down. Why? Because we're making tomato soup. So, but they don't really need to be super small. You just need to take this and go like this. And then, woo, you'll have a pile of rough cut vegetables. Not a big deal, just big chunks like you do for a stew. Basically, you're going to take these, boil them off, and then put them in a blender. That's all done. We're just going to take our stewed tomatoes, dump them in there. We're going to take our crushed peeled tomatoes, which you guys really can't see because that ring light. We're just going to put it right in there. 2 tablespoons of gross. Your 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, put them in there. You gotta take your Worcestershire sauce, Worcestershire, however you want to say it. Yeah, I took the cap off. It's just easier to pour. I'm going to use about 2 tablespoons of this. I'm lazy today. I like being lazy sometimes. I mean, you guys see most of my stuff. There's a lot of dumps and frozen veg because I literally can't be bothered half the time. It should simmer for about 20 minutes if you have the time. I do not, so I'm going to let it simmer for probably about 10. Okay, guys, that's the spaghetti bolognese, and that's the goulash. We're going to reserve some of that liquid, but we're going to keep some of it in it, basically. Because that's kind of like your stock. You don't need a lot of it left over. Add a little bit to this. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. So, the veg are all fork tender, which is exactly how I want them. Lip. Just like that. And then we're going to take these, put them in here, and we're going to blitz it up in this NutriBullet that my friend got me for Christmas. So, I'll be back in a second. Can't really see it, but that's all the veg. So I guess you take this top, screw it on. As far as I know, you're supposed to have a little bit of water. You put this in here and press down. Well, that worked a lot better than I thought it would. Made a nice puree. The fuck was that? Anyways, so we'll have to add a little bit more liquid to this, probably to rinse out and add it to it. Because I should have put more in there. It's still really thick. I did not expect that to happen. Awesome. Okay, so what we're going to do next is make a roux. And to make that, you want about a tablespoon of butter. Got this melting. Melty. And I'd say add about a tablespoon of flour. It's usually equal parts, but you gotta work with what you can do. Roux are finicky. Y'all seen me make one before. Normally you'd add a bit of milk, but milk usually doesn't sit well with me. So we're gonna just add some water. The butter will help with the creaminess that we want looking for. I don't know if you can see, it's pretty light color. We're gonna let it darken a little bit. It's about where I want it. We're gonna add this to it. Pray to God it doesn't separate like a bitch. Another 2 tablespoons of tomato paste straight into it. In there you want to add some pepper to it. Salt, a tablespoon of garlic, a little bit more thyme, and the Italian seasoning. It's bubbling, popping at me right now because it needs a little bit more water, and I gotta put the rest of the veg in. I always end up looking so red while I'm cooking because it gets so hot in here. Anyways, so normally you would put a little bit of sugar in here to counteract the taste of we're gonna. There we go. Normally you'd put a little bit of sugar in here to counteract the taste of the can, and the acidity of the tomato, but since I have so much veg in this sludge here that's going to go in there, which I'm going to add a bit of water to this. You actually don't need to, I don't think. Takes it off, and it usually is pretty good. Oh man, that smells really freaking good. That's one danger about tomato soup. It likes to spit on you people. You do not spit at me. Okay guys, so this is the end of the stuff. I do only have the 3 out because my board is small and this stuff would get everywhere, especially that soup. So we've got tomato soup, we've got vegetable beef goulash, and we've got bolognese sauce, if you want to say that's what it's called. So that's the stuff for a week, and I'll pop back around and see you in a second. Okay guys, so that was everything. Yeah, it's very tomatoey this week because when I'm lazy, I always go for tomatoes, and tomatoes can be stretched into anything. These were 700 and change, 700 right around there, and the tomato soup is going to be 278 calories per serving, and then it's probably going to go, it's a lot of soup. It is a lot of soup. Seriously, you guys see my containers. This mother bowl is a giant ass thing of soup. I'm not sure if I'm going to eat all that soup in one section, but I split it up into 2. You know how I do that. And if I feel like it, I'll probably split it down more. Probably not. I say that every week, that one of these things always ends up being a crap ton, and it's like, oh, I'll probably split that into 3. No, I don't. I split everything into 2. I like, well, it seems like a lot. Maybe I'll split it into 3. I'm not going to. I've already put it in the containers. I don't care anymore. It's in their containers. It's done. Anyways. But yeah. So that soup ends up being 278 calories. And it'll go with a sandwich, not like a grilled cheese. Whatever. It's going to go with a cold sandwich. The best part about that soup is you can actually eat it cold and it's still really good. Would it be gazpacho if it's cold? I don't think gazpacho is cooked at all. I have to look that up. But that's what that is. Yeah, I was hunched over, leaning in, telling you guys a secret. No, I'm really tired from work. And like always, I start about 9:30, 10 o'clock. And it is 12:15 in the morning. And I have to be to work in like 8 hours. So I'm going to finish cleaning up, put this stuff away, go to bed, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good one, guys.